Let's quickly see what's happening here with our next race, which is, of course, for the Mini 7s, for their last race of the season, for the regular season. Still got their winter series to go at Brands Hatch. But result, it's the partial reverse grid, which puts Paul and Glenn Woodbridge on the front row together. So it's the Woodbridges who lock out the front row. It is Paul and Glenn from Aaron Smith, who's currently the provisional Mini Media champion, ahead of Darren Thomas, then Mike Jordan and Ross Billison, Joe Thompson, Spencer Wanstall from Graham Davis and Stephen Hopper, then Andrew King and Dean Stanton round out the top 12 cars on the 6th row of the grid. So all the time we've got for, because we're getting ready for the final race of the regular season for the Dunlop Mini 7s and 7S category here at Silverstone. It's the Woodbridges on the front row of the grid. Who's going to win the whole shot between them up towards turn 1? It's a clean start from the first few rows. Of course, the Mini 7S cars will go off at their own accord after with the Union Jack in a few seconds' time. But it is going to be, looks like Paul Woodbridge who gets the whole shot towards Abbey. And it's going to be either Darren Thomas or Aaron Smith who takes the lead. Meanwhile, in the 7S category, looking at who started where from that on pole position, it was a pole position for Jack Vanner ahead of Callum Perfit, but I think possibly it's Callum Perfit that takes the run in towards turn 1 first of all. As for the 7s, it is going to be Paul Woodbridge from Glenn Woodbridge, and then I think it's in third place. It's either going to be Smith or Thomas. It is, let's have a look, I think it's Thomas in third position, Smith in fourth, and also a good start from Joe Thompson to get himself up a couple of places from 7th to 5th on the grid. Come the 7S category cars. One car in the background had a spin somewhere, but it is Callum Perfit with the perfect getaway, no pun fully intended, as he turns his way out through onto the hangar straight. The rest of the pack goes streaming through. You can see there we've got another of the pages in the mix, but they're starting already as they mean to carry on. The Woodbridges are going into family combat here. It's then Paul on the outside, Glenn on the inside line, and they're still 2 and 3 abreast behind him. You've got in there, as I mentioned, you've got Smith, you've got Thomas, Mike Jordan's in there too as well, and Thompson, and diving up the inside of everybody. Who's that? That's car 12. That is Aaron Smith. So you can tell he's definitely enjoying himself in the Mini 7s. They thump over the curb. He's ahead now of Thomas in 4th position. And also up there too appears to be, where's Mike Jordan? He's in there about 6th or 7th at this point. One car heading for the pit lane in background in the 7S class. Figure out who that is in a second. It is, who was heading for pit lane? I haven't come to the timing screen just yet, but the rest of the pack comes through. It's going to be a lead for, in the 7S category 4. It's Matthew Ayres, in fact, from Callum Perfit, and then Fraser Hatt, Michael Winkworth up to 4th, and then it's Jack Vanner in 5th position. The leaders now make their way through. It's that Aaron Smith has worked his way to the front now. Glenn Woodbridge has Joe Thompson to his inside for 2nd place. And also in there too is Ross Bill, is Paul Woodbridge. Up the inside there goes the 20 car of Darren Thomas. Back to our 7S cars. It's good that we can go back and forth here. It's Matthew Ayres, of course, that now leads the way in 758. Callum Perfit has relinquished the lead. Fraser Hack in 3rd, Winkworth 4th. And Vanner in 5th position. Bradley Jordan in 6th. And now Joe Thompson goes to the lead now with a charge down the back straight. Sweeps into Stoke corner and has got the lead in his pocket. And Smith then trying to edge out Paul Woodbridge here. Also in there too, looks to be trying to get themselves into the mix is Darren Thomas. Now they come back down towards Vale once again. It's a 20-minute race, so the final regular 20 minutes of racing for the Dunlop Mini 7s and Mini 7s and 7S category. Obviously Mini Medias, but we finished the Mini Medias. Down towards another lap once again, across the line they go. 2 cars that are out of the race already, sadly, are 72 and 14. So 72 is Graham Penn, 14 is Jamie Penn. They started together on the 7th row of the grid, sadly, so they're both out of the race after a decent early start. Fastest lap of the entire race, in fact, has gone to Michael Winkworth back in 17th place, 3rd in 7S category. So Michael Winkworth takes literally the fastest lap of the race, which is impressive for a 7S car, I can tell you that now. So Joe Thompson trying to extend the victory here. Of course, he gets the support from Pete and Mel at the Motorsport School, and they love watching him race and being here to support and run his car, and very passionate about their own motorsport as well, of course, running the Motorsport School, which of course are very good friends of BRSCC. So Matthew Ayres just, I love the way they literally just always drift these cars into the corner. They just, there's just the right amount of oversteer with these little minis that they can just throw them into the corner. It's almost like they're perfectly on rails through each of these tighter corners. The inside there goes Ross Billison. That's now for 4th position. Now running in line behind Aaron Smith and Darren Thomas. So it's now Thompson from Smith, from Thomas, from Billison. Woodbridge is down to 5th. Also in there too is the red car, Spencer Wanstall. And Mike Jordan is in there in 7th place. As we see here, a few more changes, places possibly changing. There's Paul Woodbridge ahead of Conor O'Brien. He's the outgoing Mini 7 champion, currently sat in 9th place in car number 1. Back to our 7S category. There's the lead battle. Winkworth looking around the outside of Matthew Ayres. He's got the grip, he's got the pace, he's got the momentum. Around the outside of Matthew Ayres goes Michael Winkworth, and does he hold on? Almost. Yes, he's got the lead away. So Michael Winkworth then to the lead in the 7S, but it's now 2 by 2 hurrah down towards the right-hander at Abbey Corner. It is side by side for the lead in 7S between Winkworth and Ayres, and then Callum Perfect and Fraser Hacker also in there too as well. The next car behind him, I think, is Duncan. Yeah, Arnold Duncan in the brown number 789. We come back to the tail end of our 7 runners. This is the 16 car further back, which is 16 of Andrew King. So we're trying to chase after the 38 with Stephen Popper. Started around each other on the bottom, on the base of the top 10 in the race. Now the 7S battle makes its way now onto the back straight as they run down towards the end of the hanger straight towards Stowe. We rejoin our battle for the Mini 7 race. It's still Joe Thompson in front, Smith in second, Thomas in third. And Conor O'Brien's now taking the overall fastest lap of the race, 1:23.723. We'll wait to see if any of this lot will pick it off from him. Joe Thompson doing everything he needs to, I think, when we're looking at it, to put himself in good position. It's him and Mike Jordan who are battling for the title. It's the 7S title already decided in favour of John Page, hence why he swapped series with Aaron Smith. So Aaron trying his hand, my guess is again at Mini 7s, because I'm sure he must have come through Mini 7s up into Mini Medias. So he's kind of gone back towards it. The number 6 of Graham Davis is out of the race, sadly, so another one that's fallen by the wayside. And they make their way down towards the right-hander at Abbey once again. Still in that battle for 7S. Meanwhile, 13.5 minutes to go in this final race of the regular season for the Mini 7s and 7S cars. And down the hill towards the right-hander. Still with Thompson in control. There's a bit of shuffling around going on for 5th backwards. In fact, Mike Jordan's making moves here. He's got past, looks like, Glenn Woodbridge and also Spencer Wanstall. So he's up to 5th place now at the expense of those two. Conor O'Brien's in that lead group as well, in that second pack of the lead group. Safety car has been deployed, though. Now, the reason's not quite clear just yet, because we haven't picked up anything on the circuit. I'm going to see if there's anything on the tracker to show someone that's stopped. Anyone on the tracker that's showing as having stopped on circuit. Safety car's been deployed, so that's our first call of the RunYourFleet.com Jaguar safety car. Big thank you to Run Your Fleet for their constant support of the club, and of course we're still providing the Jaguar XF Sport Brake safety car. But first use of the safety car being sprung into action this weekend. We went yesterday safety car free. We had a red flag right at the end of the first ST240 Fiesta race. That was due to an incident involving Morgan Kidd up at Stowe, but it's our first safety car of the weekend. Again, I suspect our broadcast team are trying to scrabble around and have a look and see exactly why there is a safety car. There's nothing too obvious on the circuit from what I can see, or at least on the tracker. Not showing anyone who appears to be stationary anywhere or hasn't come through. So at the moment, the safety car, truthfully, remains a bit of a mystery, because we're not quite 100% as to who it's going to be, as to the reason why. But there is the safety car. It's picked up leader Joe Thompson and the rest of the pack. Now they'll run at a reduced pace, and they'll be looking to keep the temperatures up into the tyres and the brakes and everything else in between. So the safety car bunches everyone up again. And again, no obvious reason I can see that I've been told as to why we're under safety car conditions. My initial suggestion might be that possibly could be some debris on the track, which could be the reason. That's a view of a battery pack from the camera down at Abbey Corner. So the race has been neutralised now with just over 11 minutes to go. Joe Thompson still leads the way from Aaron Smith in second place. And red flag, in fact, is that red flag being thrown? It is. So rather than a safety car, I think that's red flag, and the race has been stopped. But again, no indication, as far as we can see, as to why there's been a red flag. hopefully, if it's an incident, hopefully it's nothing too serious. But red flag has been thrown. Race has been stopped. There's a reason. So looks like there's been an incident down on the entrance to the arena section. It's off camera because that's the camera down there. There's two medical vehicles and there's a medical car and two ambulances down there. I sincerely hope that whatever's happened down there isn't too serious. Right, there's one car that's been involved. That's the number 16 of Andrew King that's been involved in that. And as for the... I did see that he'd stopped as well, so maybe that's a separate incident. But either way, his car's being pushed away. But there's another incident that's happened down at the arena section. This is usually where we go onto the timing screen and see who's right at the bottom of it. It might well have been something that involved maybe Graham Davis. If not, possibly... Well, I'm just trying to figure out whether it was King involved in that or whether it was somebody else, because King is now... He's still showing as being... that's quite odd. The timer screen still shows Andrew King as being in the running order, but you just see on the circuit there that he's not actually running and he's down up at the arena section. So whatever's happened down at the arena section in terms of an incident, we don't quite know exactly whether Sean King, Andrew King was involved, and also who else was involved, and truthfully to what severity. But ultimately, it's down to the recovery teams and marshals, medical crews to do their work rather than speculate too much. So the red flag race will be restarted, and the order will be as it was at the time of the red flag. So Joe Thompson will be on pole for this restart alongside Aaron Smith. Darren Thomas and Ross Billison will be on the second row of the grid. Mike Jordan and Spencer Wanster will be on row 3. Then it'll be Glenn Woodbridge and Conor O'Brien, followed by Carl Swift. Nick Swift, who I'm actually glad to see is actually out in this race because he had some mechanical issues that saw him being pushed off the grid in race 1. So thankfully Nick Swift's car is back to fighting fitness, and it's in the order at the moment showing in 9th place. And he's ahead of Paul Woodbridge in 10th, who slipped back after the front row start. In 11th place is car 38, which is Stephen Hopper. And then it shows the 16 car of Andrew King. But we know his car was being pushed away just a moment ago up at the arena section, so he's out of it. The 7S category, that'll be Michael Winkworth on pole position, ahead of Matthew Ayres and Callum Perfect, Fraser Hack, and the 33, which is the next car in the 7 category, which is 33, which is Dean Stanton. So race suspended here at Silverstone. And I can see the one and only Ash Morton down there just having a chat to one or two of the drivers and just explaining the whole sequence of what's going on, probably from what he knows. Just having a quick chat to Aaron Smith at the moment. Of course, this will produce a brand new grid once the incident up at the arena section has been cleared. So whilst we're waiting, quick chance to talk a little bit about stuff that's coming up, not just throughout the rest of the year for BRSCC, but also for 2024 as well. So as we have talked about a couple of times, if you want to find out more about the BRSCC and everything it does, there's technically 2 ways you can do it. You can head to the BRSCC website, brscc.co.uk, and check out all the formula pages and how to get started racing and all the events that we have as well. But if you want to come and see it up close and personal, then you can come here to Silverstone on the weekend of November 18th and 19th, because the BRSCC will be hosting its first ever Driven by Racing exhibition event, and this will be all things BRSCC, including test drives and cars out on circuit. You can take an arts test courtesy of our friends at the Motorsport School. You can find out about how to become a marshal or a coordinator or a scrutineer or a timekeeper or a clerk of the course, or just volunteer and get involved, or at least get involved on the rescue unit crews. Anything you want to do in terms of getting involved with BRSCC on just about any front, you can find out how to do it and get a sample of it here at Silverstone on November 18th and 19th. Tickets are free. You can head to the BRSCC website. There is a dedicated banner that links to the event page for Driven by Racing on the front page of the BRSCC website, so you can click through there and find out more. You can apply for your free tickets and get yourself involved. Remember, brscc.co.uk, and click the dedicated Driven by Racing banner. It's bright yellow, so you can't really miss it too much, and you'll be able to find out more about the Driven by Racing event. Of course, we've talked about for next season, rest of the events coming up for this season. We've still got the all-important Formula Ford Festival coming up in a couple of weeks. Of course, if you've got a Formula Ford, a Kent engine Formula Ford, you're more than welcome to take part. It's also on the same weekend as the at Brands Hatch as the finale for TCI UK, where the championship will be decided there, and Carl Boardley currently in control of that points table at the moment, and he'll be hoping to wrap it up at Brands Hatch amongst the festival festivities. Also there that weekend will be the Fiesta Juniors, the Civic Cup, and also these cars. Of course, the Mini 7s for the Mini 7s and the Melias will be out for their third and final round of their winter series, which is taking place this weekend's rounds at Silverstone. Not just the final rounds of the regular season, but also the second rounds of their winter series as well. So any points that drivers are scoring here have a dual purpose, so to speak, in terms of where they are. A couple of weeks after that, we've also got the legendary Race of Remembrance at Anglesey. Just a few spots left to race that. Of course, it's all in support of Mission Motorsport and the amazing work they do to help wounded current and ex-servicemen to retrain and become and find new careers in the automotive and motorsport sectors and get themselves involved with engineering or design or construction or anything else on top of that, and to get them involved in automotive car companies, to retrain them as being a mechanic or just to be part of race teams. And it's amazing work that Mission Motorsport do. And the Race of Remembrance, which is held over Remembrance Weekend, effectively it's a remembrance service. It's a remembrance service which is essentially with a race that happens to work with it, not the other way around. It's a cumulative 12-hour race, and it begins on Saturday, ends on Saturday evening, resumes on Sunday morning, and then there's a break before we get to the 11 o'clock Sunday remembrance service, where we remember and fallen heroes for those who've been given their service in the armed forces. So that's the weekend of November 10th to 12th. Of course, the racing takes place on the 11th to the 12th of November at Anglesey in Wales. If you want to get yourself involved, actually even race there, you can enter and find out how to do so by heading to the BRSCC's Race Hub, racehub.brscc.co.uk, and even registering for Race of Remembrance and getting yourself involved as well. And then, of course, looking forward to next season. Of course, we've got TCR UK back once again. They've also announced their support package for next year in terms of the championships that will permanently follow them around on their 7-weekend calendar. That includes, once again, as it was this year, the Miltech Sports Civic Cup and also the Fiesta Junior Championship. They'll be back once again for permanent fixtures, and they'll also be joined by the Fiesta's older brethren in the faster brethren in the Fiesta ST240 Championship full-time on the TCR support package next year, as will also the brand new Audi TT Cup Racing Series as well. And that is, I believe, not only has it just announced this week the Audi TTs, which is one of those fantastic new series where there's lots of new cars in build, and hopefully we'll see quite a packed grid of those for next year. But not only have they announced the deal this week with Dunlop becoming their new tyre supplier, Goodyear Dunlop being their new tyre supplier, but on top of that, apparently, from what we understand, the championship status potentially is imminent for the Audi TTs, as they stated on their post about on the announcement about the Audi TTs. So all things being well, imminently, we may well see the news that Audi TT Cup is going to become a championship for next year. It's all to be confirmed, but still, potentially, could be happening if all the I's and the T's get dotted and crossed and all looks good on all fronts. So watch out for that news as and when that comes. Should all be well. So the RunYourFleet.com safety car has now moved to the front of the grid. It's moving to the front of the grid, which suggests that we've got a restart coming in shortly. The timing screen has reset. It's showing 20 minutes, but I can't imagine that will be the case. They'll probably my guess is because they were about 7 minutes in to the race, or they had 7 minutes to. They were 7 minutes into the race, thereabouts. So I imagine that they might well restart this over. My guess is about 12 minutes is my guess, but we'll wait and see what the clerk of the course decides to do. I think we've got some grid sheets that have been delivered to marshals now, so we've got a revised grid based on the results at the time of the red flag. The recovery, medical cars and trucks are just about moving back into their regular positions, and I do hope that whatever's happened down at the arena section and whoever was involved in said incident is okay, and because I know that at the very least the drivers that are involved in the accident will simply be taken to the medical centre purely as a precaution at the absolute least, because any incident that you're involved in, you could look fine on the outside and then have the chief medical officer check you over and then discover something which could be a little more serious or something that isn't quite evident when you look at the driver from the outside. So the safety car, I believe, is probably making its way around doing a lap of the circuit to check that all is well, and also to probably check the scene of the incident. And as that happens, the Mini 7s are being directed back onto the grid. And as I mentioned, the grid will be set based on the order of the race at the time of the red flag on probably count back of a lap or so, which means that Joe Thompson will start on pole position after he was leading before. Aaron Smith will be on the front row alongside him. Then row 2 sees Darren Thomas and Ross Billison on the second row. And as the rest of the pack will start to come through and line themselves up. They will, of course, also go off for a single formation lap as well to get some heat back into the tyres and the brakes. And then once they're lined back up on the grid, as is usual, 5-second board will go up, red lights will be on, and racing will be back underway for the final time in the regular season for the Dunlop Mini Challenge Sportsman Mini Spares 7s and 7S category cars. So a few drivers just keeping the doors open, because looking at the temperatures around here at Silverstone, it might be into autumn conditions, but in terms of the conditions on my laptop, it's showing me 20 degrees and windy, so there's probably still some scope that you could get a bit of sunburn if you're not careful, even though it is early October. So the Mini 7s have been lined up. The 7S's now take their turn a few rows back, and of course they will start with a 10-second delay. They'll be started by the Union Jack flag, and it will be Michael Winkworth that will start on pole position with Matthew Ayres alongside him on the front row of the grid, and also keep an eye on Fraser Hack and Callum Perfect from the second row too, as they bid to try and keep with them in the opening couple of laps. So the rest of the pack comes through to the back of the grid. Give another thank you to our hard-working marshals, of course. You can see a few of them just congregated down by the curve in the barrier onto the pit straight. Again, big thank you to everyone that gives up their free time as a marshal, as a volunteer, an official, a coordinator, anyone that gives up their time over the weekend to make these race meetings happen, because you know we say it over and over again, but we genuinely mean it when we say without their support, without their free time, without their hard work and efforts, race events like this genuinely just couldn't happen. Right, there's another car that was involved. That was car number 6, and that was Graham Davis. He was another one that was involved in the incident. That car's going off onto the low loader. Or at the very least, it's a car that also pulled off on that section of the grid, that section of the circuit, by the time of the red flag. Now, I imagine that the restart clock still, the race clock still says 20 minutes, but I can't imagine it'll be the full 20 minutes, because there must be a reduction of that. My thinking would be they're only about 7 minutes into the race, so in my head it makes sense to reduce the race to that clock down to 12 minutes rather than to the full 20. But we'll see. We'll see what I'm certain that will change at some point before we get the racing underway. Last couple of cars are just being moved into position at the back of the grid in the 7S category, and I'm certain you'll see almost in unison a massive doors closing before we get racing underway. Let's watch that second line of cars has got 4 doors open, and how many of them are going to close their door? They're going to leave it quite late, because they're going to get they might do it at the 1 minute board. So Aaron Smith's got his door open, so is Spencer Wanstall, so I think is one of the Woodbridges. And also I think Ross Billison's got his door open as well. So I'm intrigued to see which one. It's almost a game to see which one blinks first. And they look like they're all ready to go, but they're just waiting for the signal from race control as to how long it's going to be. Right, the restart clock shows 8 minutes, so they've actually had 12 minutes running that race, so they have an 8-minute restart here at Silverstone. Woodbridge has closed his door, I can see, and it's now between Smith. Alright, there you go. Doors being closed. 1 minute board goes up. There'll be the 30-second board that'll go next, and then the green flag to set them off onto their formation lap. There goes the said 30-second board, and green flag will be next. So the Mini 7s and 7S cars head off for their formation lap on this restart. 8 minutes to run before we see the checkered flag again. And Joe Thompson now looks to make a bid for glory from pole position. He will have Aaron Smith making his one-off appearance in the Mini 7s this weekend after provisionally wrapping up the Mini Media title and becoming champion-elect. He will start from the front row of the grid alongside him. Darren Thomas looks as though he's going to be on the second row alongside Ross Billison. And also watch for Mike Jordan. He's still back in row 4 or so. He started on row 3 for the first start. He's back in 5th place. He's a couple of places back this time. Compare that to Joe Thompson. He's up 6 places from where he started. It's 7th on the grid for Joe Thompson on the first start. On this restart, he starts from pole. the way around on the Silverstone International Circuit, of course, running the way around onto through the little kink. So rather than turning all the way left through the loop and through Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight to take them back towards the National Circuit, which has been used this weekend, given so there's another club running an event on the National Circuit. They instead go through the little kink, through the left-handed kink and onto the downhill approach towards, I believe it's Chapel. And then they go through the right-hander and then use all the curve and all the circuit on the exit to then set themselves up for a run down the Hanger Straight. And then back in Stoke Order, where we've seen plenty of battles and overtaking and slipstreaming and 2, 3, 4, even 5 abreast moves down towards this corner. And then here, if you can set yourself up nicely, you can put yourself even on the outside line, on the racing line down towards Vale. And if you're clever enough and you've got enough grip and track position, you can go around the outside of somebody for Vale and put yourself on the inside for the first part of the club to set yourself up to complete the move by the time you exit club and onto the pit straight for the end of the lap. They make their way around onto the formation, onto the grid after the formation lap. And again, Joe Thompson then gets a chance this time to get a better start from pole position. So let's see what he's got under his sleeve here on this restart. He had to build himself back up again because he's had that break when all the adrenaline's been rushing big behind the wheel, but now he's going to try and, he's had a bit of a lull. Now he's going to try and build himself back up again now and get himself focused and ready for the restart. It's Joe Thompson in white with the red wheel arches on the right-hand side of the screen. It's the green Mini with the silver, or the silvery grille on the front row of the grid. That's Aaron Smith. Then you've got the green Mini with the black grille. That's Darren Thomas. And then the white Mini with KAD on the grille. That is Ross Billison. Watch out for him. As the 7S cars make their way onto the back of the grid. We're all set for 8 minutes on the restart for this final race of the year for the Dunlop Mini Challenge, supported by Mini Spares. 7 and 7S categories. 5-second board goes up, and let's see if Joe Thompson can get a good start from pole, whether Aaron Smith can use all his media experience to get the jump down towards turn 1. Lights are out pretty quickly, away we go. Away go the 7s, of course, the 10-second start delay before the 7S cars get underway, and now it's side by side for Belize. Now Aaron Smith has got a good jump off the line. But in towards Abbey Corner, it will be Thompson who turns him through from the lead from pole position in the 7S cars. A good jump from Michael Winkworth puts him ahead of Matthew Ayres on the sprint down towards Abbey for the first time. And Matthew Ayres not letting him have it too much. He's going up the inside into Abbey Corner. Mike will take the whole shot. He does. So Matthew Ayres goes into the lead then, ahead of pole sitter Michael Winkworth on the restart. And as they go through Abbey Corner, the leaders are already turning their way back onto the Hanger Straight. So Thompson leads, Smith in second place, Billison up to third. It's then Darren Thomas fourth, Woodbridge fifth. Conor O'Brien's up to 6th position after he started back in 8th, so 2 places gained for him. Meanwhile, in the 7S category, Matthew Ayres has held the lead from the start, but Winkworth is right there on his rear bumper. Callum Perfect 3rd, Fraser Hack 4th. And you've got in there as well, looks like Giles Page in 704 by the looks of it. He's in there too, one of the Page family on that grid. Back into Stowe Corner. Billison goes to 2nd now. He's got he got through on Aaron Smith. Now his next target is going to be to try and make a move on Joe Thompson on this opening lap. If he can try and squeeze through, remember, it's big lock-up from Darren Thomas there up the inside of Aaron Smith, forcing him to run wide, and that just opens the door now. That opens the door for the 5 of the number 5 to try and squeeze through, or number 6 of, it's the 5 of Glenn Woodbridge to try and get through. As we go through onto the back straight, the pit straight here once again. They're all over each other for the 7S category. Just to come back onto Abbey Corner once more. So as Thompson then turns his way in through onto the Hanger Straight, still Billison in 2nd place. It's Thomas up to 3rd now. Smith's been shuffled down to P5 now behind Glenn Woodbridge. One car's off the road, looks like Spencer Wanstall, I think. Spencer Wanstall's gone spinning up at the arena section. As they come back onto the back straight once again, there is Arnold Duncan. Meanwhile, the leaders are back into Stowe Corner once again with 5.5 minutes left to play here. Turning in through Stowe Corner, now on the back straight, on the short straight towards the complex at Vale, and Billison going on the attack here down the outside, but Thompson defends, and also the watch for Mike Jordan. He's the red and white car with the Swift Tune grille on the outside for 5th position, looking for 4th now on Glenn Woodbridge. Woodbridge gives him the room. He's now boxing. He's got Darren Thomas right in front of him, and Jordan to his inside, so all Woodbridge can do is hold his line. Jordan puts cut 2 wheels over the curb. There's Thompson, then Billison, then Jordan. All take the fastest lap of the race. Jordan does a 24.749 to continue him pressing towards the front. And again, that's number 8 that's come to a stop. That is Paul Woodbridge. So he starts at the front of the field, but sadly, Paul's car has expired halfway down the Hangar Straight, so I'm afraid he will not see the end of the season in the brightest light. As for Joe Thompson, he's still maintaining the place. And is that Spencer Watt? Was that Conor O'Brien running wide? Either that or that Spencer Watt's car trying to recover. Either way, somebody was wide there on the inside of the circuit. It's come to a stop. So that's either a 7S car or one of the other 7 machines that Mick Spencer Watson's pitted in after his spin. Can't quite see who that is that stopped on circuit. Someone stopped right there on the tarmac section, just on the exit of the arena before the kink. And just showing cars that either have or haven't come through. We know Paul Woodbridge hasn't, so he's out of the race. Nick Swift is another one that hasn't come through just yet either, so maybe it's him. We'll wait and see who goes tumbling down the timing screen, as Mike Jordan now moves his way up to 3rd place, ahead of, that's Darren Thomas in 4th, Woodbridge 5th, and Aaron Smith's been shuffled back down to 6th now. He's got some work to do here. So back in our 7S category, Michael Winkworth has retaken the lead now. So Winkworth leads from Ayres, Hack, Page and Perfect. Matthew Page has managed to work his way up to 4th in class. He originally on the grid started back on the 7th row of the grid by the looks of it, alongside Chris Pryor. And there's the confirmation that Nick Swift is out of the race, and also Paul Woodbridge, as we saw him pull to the side of the road. 3 and a bit minutes to go left. There is Jack Vanner, who started originally on the reverse grid 7S pole, but he's now running back in 6th position. Now just about holding on. Oh, so one car's disappeared behind the barrier. Can't quite see who that's gone, but I couldn't see the number before they'd lost, and he's actually pulled off the road on the pit straight. So he's gone behind the pit wall on the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. It could be the 714 maybe, and that is Chris Pryor, because his last lap was a 139. So I wonder if possibly he's had to stop because he's been ailing in the last half lap and pulled the car off the road. So there shouldn't be any yellow flags because he's pulled the car into a safe position. 2 minutes 20 still left to go. And Conor O'Brien is also showing. So Conor O'Brien might be the car that was the one stopped at the arena section, because it's just showing on our screen here on our graphics that he's out of the race. So Conor O'Brien, sadly, the outgoing champion for Mini 7s, not set to see the finish. So his title is set to change hands in the end. So less than 2 minutes to go in the regular Dunlop Mini 7 series. There's Michael Winkworth holding on to the lead in 7S, but Joe Thompson doing everything he needs to put himself in that fine position. There's way out wide goes Darren Thomas. He loses out to Billison and to Glenn Woodbridge. He might also lose out to Aaron Smith if he's not careful. And now they come down towards Stoke Corner again. There's Paul Woodbridge's car that's pulled off to the side of the road, and Paul was watching on, gets one of the best views in the house down the Hangar Straight, watching the rest of the leaders make their way towards Stoke Corner, still with Thompson in command. Jordan in 2nd place now. And looking at that result from yesterday, it was 2nd place to Joe Thompson, and then it was a 4th for Mike Jordan, and of course he finished ahead again. I think this may well be Joe Thompson on his way to picking up the 7 title. But Jordan's going to try and push him as hard as he dares all the way to the checkered flag now, onto the last lap of the season. And if Mike Jordan have anything left in reserve now, Thompson takes the fastest lap of the race, but Jordan beats it by 0.3 of a second, and here comes Jordan to the inside for the race win here down towards Abbey Corner. Is Thompson going to fight it too much? Thompson goes for it round the outside. Jordan squeezes him out wide over the curve and on the line through Farm Corner. But this now puts him on the outside of the complex going into the arena section. And also getting involved there is Billison on the outside line. Jordan has the inside run in towards the arena section, and Jordan is through. Jordan is through on the last lap of the race, into the lead here at Silverstone International. He wants to end the season with a win, but Thompson, if he can stay exactly where he is, or as close as he can be to be in the tow to try and get him back down towards Stowe Corner. These boxy little minis will certainly be punching quite a large hole in the air as they make their way down towards Stowe Corner. And here comes Thompson to the outside. Has he got the momentum? They're going to be side by side down towards the right-hander. And with better straight line speed, Billison gets the tow as well. It could be 3 abreast as Jordan takes the inside line. Thompson goes to the outside and retakes the lead into Stowe Corner. Now, will Jordan have any response into Vale or Club? If he makes one last-minute dive, we'll have to wait and see if he's got anything left in the tank here. Looks to the outside, but Thompson takes the regular racing line. I think that Jordan might be running out of options here. Into Vale. Now Jordan's under threat from Billison to do the first part of Club. It's really good momentum, but he's squirming around behind Joe Thompson if he can try and get the power down. But it's not going to work. Joe Thompson comes out of the final corner, up to the checkered flag, and the final Mini 7 race of the year is taken by Joe Thompson. It is second place for Mike Jordan, third place for Ross Billison, and I think you can see Joe Thompson happy with the victory. Meanwhile, in the 7S category, they're still going at it further back. This is 797, which is 797 is Jack Vanner, who's had a good move there, getting past Arnold Duncan. 789 in the 7S category. It is going to be Michael Winkworth, I think, that comes across the line and takes victory. It is from Matt Ayres in second place, Matthew Page in third. It's then Fraser Hack in fourth, and Callum Perfect rounds out the top 5. So an amazing season all round. And a big thank you once again to the Mini 7 Racing Club for providing ample entertainment all the way through from start to finish. And I'm certain that they will do just the same at their Winter Series rounds at Brands Hatch in a couple of weeks' time at the Formula Ford Festival. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations down there, particularly with the Motorsport School, with Pete and with Mel down there and all of their crew that help assist and run Joe's car. And Joe's been quite a force throughout the season, and one of the first to congratulate him naturally is one of his main, if not the main rival from the season, and that's Mike Jordan. Ever the gentleman is Mike, and still a fantastic racer, vastly experienced no matter what you put him into. Mike is absolutely thunderously quick, and he's certainly proved that once again. So the final race of the regular Mini 7 and 7S season goes the way of Joe Thompson. He takes victory by just 0.2 of a second from Mike Jordan in second place. Ross Billison picks up third, and Glenn Woodbridge in fourth, and Darren Thomas in fifth. Then it is sixth place for Aaron Smith, seventh for the 38 car of Stephen Hopper. And then it'll be 8th place overall, and the 7S win for Michael Winkworth, so congratulations to Michael for taking that victory. It's then Matthew Ayres picking up 9th, it's then Matthew Page in 10th, and 3rd in 7S category, ahead of Fraser Hack and Callum Perfect in the 7S top 5. And then Stanton, Vanner, Duncan, Giles Page, Bell, and the rest of the top 20 completed by Perry, Watson and Bradley Jordan, who takes 12th in the 7S category. A couple of cars we didn't see to take the flag were the likes of Conor O'Brien and Spencer Wanstall in the end. So another regular season for the Mini 7 Racing Club draws to a close. As I mentioned, it's still the winter rounds to come at Brands Hatch in a couple of weeks' time. But I'm certain it's going to be quite a frantic affair with the Mini 7s. They'll put on just as good a show as they have done all season long. Right, let's head down to our top 3 and have a chat to them for that final Mini 7 race of the year, back with our ever-roving and ever-capable pit lane reporter, Rob Lewis.
Well, we've got 3 drivers embracing each other at the moment for the Mini 7s. We really want to have a chat with them. All of the cars coming in there. The veteran Mike Jordan getting a hug with winner Joe Thompson and Ross Billingson in 3rd. But Joe Thompson, I'm looking forward to having a chat with him because he did finish 2nd yesterday and he wanted that extra place. If I could just get Joe to come and speak to us, that'll be fabulous. To finish was. He's a popular man. Joe, you've brought tears to Pete Edwards' eyes.
Absolutely, that's a rare sight, isn't it, for such a man? Yeah, really, really good that was. As hard as it looked, I think.
Absolutely, and you know, you've in the end you ended up with the wily old fox Mike Jordan behind you. Were you a bit worried?
You know, I think obviously he wrapped the championship up yesterday, so I didn't know if he was going to play it safe. So I thought I won't defend too hard for him, and then he slung one up the inside. I thought that's optimistic of him. So I thought I have to just take the fight back to him. So we let him go on the last lap. Obviously gave us a tow down the straight, and it set up pretty perfectly, to be fair.
Absolutely, and you said to me yesterday you wanted to go one better. You have done.
Absolutely, and what a way to round the year off. So looking forward to next year as well.
More of the same next year?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Joe, congratulations on a wonderful win there. Hopefully we can just get Mike Jordan over there if we can. Mike, if we could just get a word. We'll get you to stand on the cross. It's hard work chasing down Joe Thompson, but a fabulous race from yourself.
It was just a brilliant race, yeah, and I was lucky enough I won the championship yesterday, and so there are some people that don't do the final race, and I ummed and ahed a little bit last night, and then I chatted to my mates and said, no, we've got to go and do it, and that's how I wanted it to. Obviously I wanted to win. Struggling to make a bit of progress early on, but I sort of woke up a little bit towards the end and made the move, and when I'd made the move on him up here, and I saw Ben gave me 1 minute to go, I thought I might have gone a lap earlier because I know he's going to be able to tow me down the hangers, and sure, and these things he's very good, that if you get right onto somebody you stall them out. Yeah. So he towed up to me, stalls me out, and he was clear enough into Stowe, but it was a great race and he made a really good move. I timed that a little bit wrong, but it was a great way to end the championship. Really enjoyed it.
Fantastic. Is there something about this circuit that really adds to the mini racing?
Yeah, the tow seems to work here more than anywhere else we go, so you can never really get away. You know, you can have cars that are probably running half a second off the ultimate pace, but they get in the tow and they just get dragged along there. So, but it's great for you guys.
Oh, fantastic footage for us guys. But for now, Mike Jordan, fantastic. Congratulations on second and congratulations on the championship. Thanks
very much. Just a big thanks. The car's been perfect all year, and Swifty's given me a rocket ship of an engine all year long. So big thanks to them. You know, couldn't have done it without them.
More of the same next year?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mike. And third place, we should have Ross here somewhere. Hello. Come on over, stand on the cross. Fantastic race. You're back here once again, so that's a good thing. More silverware.
Yeah, great. It was a great race. Yeah, very busy race. I was constantly looking in my mirrors, but I had a great fight with Joe and Mike. But yeah, brilliant.
What mini racing's all about?
Oh yeah, exactly. That's why we do it. It's so close. It's so much fun. So yeah, we'll be back next year.
Back next year indeed.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Cheers. Thank you very much.